The primary trig ratios, that's referring to sine, cosine, and tangent. What kind of a triangle do they work for?
The sine, so sine works for O and H, so opposite and
Yep. Sorry, Matthew, but what kind of a triangle?
Right triangle?
Yes, it has to be a right triangle. You have to have a hypotenuse. So you have to have a 90-degree angle. Okay. Also, Pythagorean theorem only works for right triangles as well. Okay. So what we're switching to now is what happens if you don't have a right triangle? What happens if you have a non-right triangle? So mathematicians actually developed two formulas, sine law and cosine law, that work on non-right triangles. If you're curious about where the formula came from, ask me some other time. It's quite lengthy, but I can show you. It does come from using sine in a right triangle, in which they dropped down in altitude, created two right triangles, but then eventually rearranged the equation to get rid of the altitude, get rid of that missing height there, so that we don't need the 90-degree angle anymore. In this formula, it's essential that you know where these letters go in the triangle. And we talked about this yesterday. So where is side A?
What do you mean where is side A?
In this triangle right here, where would I label side A?
Left side. Or sorry, across from it. Sorry, it has
yes.
to be. Sorry.
Good. Across from angle A. So then side B is which one? The bottom or the left?
B would be on the bottom, and then C would be on the left. And
Perfect.
Is this in our booklet?
Yes, this is page 17. Sine law, it looks like there's two formulas. These are the exact same formulas. You can see they're flipped upside down. This is to make your life easier. If you're solving for a side, you want your side variables to be in the top. If you're solving for an angle, you flip it upside down so that your angle variable is in the top. So please just read the word problem carefully and pick the right formula. It makes it so much easier. And we just did this note here. When you're labeling a triangle, angles are capital letters, sides are lowercase letters, and the angles and opposite sides have the same letter. So let me show you how to use sine law. This question says this diagram, triangle BMS, is representing the Bermuda Triangle. And we're trying to find the perimeter of the triangle. What does perimeter mean?
Outside length.
Yeah, all of the side lengths. So it's like I'm going all the way around this Bermuda Triangle. So I need to find all of my side lengths and add them up. Is there a 90-degree angle in this triangle?
No.
No. So we can't use SOHCAHTOA. So instead, what we're going to do today is we're going to use sine law. And I'm going to just flip back here for a second. Am I solving for sides or for angles?
Sides.
Sides. Now my triangle is not labeled ABC, but that's easy enough. I can just change it to B and M and S. So I'm just going to rewrite it like this. Side B over sine of B, M over sine M, and S over sine S. Let's plug in everything that we know. What do we know from this triangle?
We know that we have two angles, and to make a triangle, it's 180 degrees. So you could add those two angles, subtract them from 180, and then you could find out that angle.
Okay, good. So angle S, what do we have that to be, guys?
Angle S is 74.
Okay. So I have all three angles, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to fill them in here. Angle B is 56.
Now you'd plug them in, right?
Yep. M is 50. And S is 74. Okay, what else do I know?
We know, well, are we going to put them in, or are we?
Well, what's this? What's this down here?
Kilometers.
Yep, what letter is that?
KM?
It's across from.
Oh, sorry, it's across from B.
Yep, good. So side B is 1,000. Do we know side M?
No.
Nope. And do we know side S?
No.
Okay. And in essence, this question is asking me to find both M and S because I want the whole perimeter. in sine law, you can see I actually have two equal signs. I have three components. You never use all three components. You only use two at a time. You're going to use the one that you have everything known. So I know B and B. And then we're going to solve for either M or S first. It doesn't matter. So let's just maybe pick M, and we'll go back to S here in a minute. So I'm just going to rewrite just these two parts. So I have 1,000 over sine 56 equals M over sine of 50. What's my variable? What am I solving for? M. How is the sine of 50 attached to M?
Because you're dividing it.
Okay, so what's the opposite of division?
Multiplication.
Okay, so I'm just going to multiply sine of 50 to get rid of it. What you do to one side, you have to do to the other. Oops, that's going to say sine.
Wait, why would you multiply if it's kind of like the division line?
Because the opposite of multiplication is division, and I'm trying to isolate my variable.
Oh, okay.
So guys, literally on your calculator, you're going to do sine 50 times 1,000 divided by sine 56, and that's going to be M. I'm going to open up a calculator here for a second so I can show you what that's going to look like.
Sine 50 times 1,000 what?
Sine 50 times 1,000 divided by sine 56.
Your
Sine of
answer
50
is, you get
times 1,000
I got a negative.
divided by sine of 56. Did I put that in right? I've got a different screen open. Can you guys confirm that's what we wrote?
Yeah, we wrote that.
Okay.
But
Pardon?
that's right. I thought we were multiplying something. No, yeah, you're right.
Okay, so did you guys get 924.0165, so on and so forth? Did you guys get this answer?
Yeah.
Okay, that you're done. That literally is it. That's side M, 900, let's say 924. Okay, I'm going to just repeat here what we did. We took the fraction that we knew the numerator and the denominator. So we took 1,000 divided by sine of 56, and we grabbed this second fraction and we solved for M. Literally all we had to do was multiply by what was in the denominator, in this case, sine of 50. Plug the whole thing in your calculator. That way we're not rounding, we're not making an inaccurate answer. Plug it all in your calculator, hit equals, and there's your missing side length. Questions?
What do you mean by plug everything in your calculator?
We just plugged all of this right here into our calculator in one step. Okay. Okay, we're going to do this again one more time because we also need side S. So this time we're going to use again the 1,000 divided by sine of 56. But now I'm going to grab the other part of my equation, equals S over sine of 74. So I'm going to keep the 1,000 divided by sine of 56. Equals S over sine of 74. How do I isolate for S?
You have to do same thing on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you do to one side, you do to the other.
Perfect. So I'm just going to multiply the sine of 74 over here.
So then it's going to be sine 74 times.
Yeah. So if you have your calculator still with your entered screen in it, you could actually just go back into your calculation and change that to sine 74. I'm getting 1,159.5, let's say.
Yeah, I got
confirm.
159.49, so it rounds to.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So S is 1,159.5. Okay, questions on how to use the formula?
So when we look at the triangle right now, if I was to look at it and I see the 1,000 kilometers, I automatically know I could solve for M right away. Right? Or sorry, B.
Okay, so in sine law, Matthew, I'm glad you asked this question. In sine law, in order to use the formula, you have to have what I refer to as a loop of information. You have to know an angle on the opposite side.
From
Like this?
from the kilometer.
Yeah,
From the so we will automatically be given one side on the test, right?
you have to be given one side and the opposite angle, and then you'll be given one other thing. Like in this case, we were given an angle, one other
Yeah, 'cause
angle.
you can find out the other angle very easily.
Yeah, so this loop right here, if you have a side and an opposite angle, that's how you know you're going to use sine law. If you have a side and so if you have little s and big S or little m and big M, that's going to tell you it's sine law. Okay. This question asks you for perimeter though. What did you guys get when you added all of the sides up? Anyone
I
get
got
it?
3,800. I got 3,083.
Yep, 0.5, right?
Yeah.
Kilometers. Awesome. I got the same.
Would you want
Okay.
us to put 25?
It depends on what the question asks you to round for. I feel like because it's a half of a kilometer, it's pretty substantial. So I'm going to leave it, but it really depends on what the question says as far as rounding. Okay. Okay, now this question is bicycle path forms a 66-degree angle with one lock of a canal. The distance between them is 2.5 kilometers. The angle separating this lock from the next one is 52, and they're asking you for the distance between the two locks. I'm looking for this side length here. Initially, I left this one in there because initially it doesn't look like it's sine law. Do I have an angle and its opposite side?
No, but you could find that angle very easily.
Perfect. So they like to trick you with sine law. Sometimes they're going to give you information. You'll be like, wait a minute, this doesn't look like sine law. But Matthew, how do I find this angle?
What you're gonna do is you're gonna add 66 plus 52 and subtract from 180.
Perfect. So how big is that angle down there?
It's oh, I just messed it up. 1 sec. 66. It's 118. So then
I got
100.
62. Hold on 1 second.
No, that's sorry, I got 62. I was just saying 66 plus 50.
Oh, yeah, perfect. Okay, so I know Matthew knows what he's doing. I want to hear other voices. I want you guys to notice that now I have a loop of information. I have a side and its opposite angle. That is your visual clue. This is sine law. Okay. On Wednesday of next week, I'm going to teach you cosine law, and you can't use cosine law if you have a loop of information. It has to be sine law and vice versa. So you have to be able to recognize when to use which formula. The right triangle, the 90-degree angle, tells you SOHCAHTOA. This loop, the side and the opposite angle, is sine law. And then there's a different scenario for the last formula, cosine law. This question only asks me to find what I've labeled X. I'm going to actually change it to side B here so it matches. I don't need all of my different letters in this triangle. So I'm actually only going to be using what I have, which is C, and what I'm solving for, which is B. So anyone want to suggest how I set this up?
You're gonna want to put you're gonna need to put the siney thing with the
Yeah, that's true. What's the formula going to look like?
It's gonna be sine 60 no 62
Okay, you want sides in the top though, because I'm solving for a side.
okay, so sine on the top then, and then you're gonna want to put 62 divided by 2.5.
So flip that around. You want your side length in the top, so 2.5 in the top,
Oh,
angles in the bottom. Yep. Okay, good. So B and B here, and then C and C, and then I'm solving for B. Good. How do I isolate for B?
You're gonna multiply it.
Awesome. So multiply by sine 52. Plug that into your calculator. Let's see what we get. Okay, because this question only asked me to find side B, that's it, I'm done. 2.23, is this kilometers?
Yes.
Awesome, okay. Any questions about using sine law to find a missing side length? So make sure sides go in the top, angles go in the bottom if you're looking for a side length. Any questions?
Do you mind scrolling up for a second? I was just writing like a quick note. Could you like scroll just like a small bit? Thank you.
Are we gonna be doing something? Oh, wait, when's break? 2 o'clock?
Hold on a second. 1:45, actually, we'll be done by 1:45. I'm gonna do, the last question here, guys, is solving for an angle. So I just need to show you guys what happens if you're looking for an angle in a not right triangle. Somebody other than Matthew, tell me where to put these numbers, 11.1, 5.8, and 31. Where are they going?
11.1 goes on the top.
That is side V, Summer, so where's that going?
Opposite.
Yes, so where is that?
Bottom.
Matthew.
The bottom.
Matthew, I know you know. Thank you, Aiden. It goes on the bottom.
And
Okay,
T
where's
goes on the 5.8 goes on the right, and then the other one goes on the left.
Where does the 31 going? Can you be more specific, AG?
The bottom left.
Is it a side or an angle?
It's an angle.
Perfect. Okay. And this question is wanting me to find angle V. Okay, so this top angle. How do I know that this is sine law?
Because you have your length and you have the length of the side and it's across from an angle, so you automatically have your information. Yeah. And then you're gonna want
Perfect.
to angle on the
Okay. Yeah, hold on one second, Matthew. So I'm just going to go back to my formula sheet here, or the formula page at the beginning. And if you guys take a look at the second formula, basically you just want your angles in the top, so sine of A or sine of whatever the angle letter is in the top, side lengths in the bottom. So angles in the top this time. So what's this going to look like when I set it up?
sine on the top divided by the angle.
Or
multiplied.
Angles are going to be in the top. So my angle T is going to be in the top side.
Yeah, that's
T is in the bottom. Yep.
And
And go ahead.
Sine 11.1.
Oh, is this a side or an angle?
Oh, sorry, that's it. That's a side.
So where's that going to go?
It's gonna go on the bottom.
Perfect.
The bottom.
Yep. So guys, sine, cosine, and tangent only never go with your angle, with theta. Okay, so the sine has to stay with your angle measurement. The side lengths you don't put sine with a side length, only with angle measurements. Okay, this one looks a little bit weird, but this is my variable. So how do I isolate my variable?
Multiplication.
Yes, multiply. Multiply 11.1 to both sides. 11.1 times sine of 31 divided by 5.8. You guys may have to tell me that again because I'm going to forget what I just said. 11.1 times
Sine 31.
Sine 31 divided by 5.8.
Let me double check. Yeah.
Okay. Everyone needs to do this on their calculator, please.
I got decimal I need to.
I have 0.9856, so on, so on, so on. 0.98 blah, 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 blah equals sine of V. Suggestions on how to get angle V. How do we get the sine off?
Multiply
It's not gonna look like multiplication.
or divide, sorry.
Would you do the opposite sign, like sine
Yes.
1?
Yes, you're gonna do sine -1. You gotta move, you gotta get this off, right? You have to do the inverse sine. So, I'm gonna show you guys how to shortcut this on your calculator. I think you all have an answer button. So I want you actually just to hit sine -1 of your answer. That way you don't have to retype the decimal, because that's where a lot of errors happen. So on mine, it looks like sine, oops, sorry, hold on a second. I gotta hit enter here. Hit enter. Okay, mine looks like sine -1. I have the ANS button right here. It puts my answer back in, and I have an 80-degree angle, 80.3, but I'll round that to 80 degrees. So you get angle V to be 80 degrees as your final answer for this question.